What made you decide to add acupuncture to your
Well, I've been in this job for 30 years, and I'm noticing that we can do more than just the conventional Western medicine. So I knew that it would work well on discs and joints and muscles and all, and I wanted to see how well it works, and it works phenomenal. And now we're doing more and more systems besides joints and muscles.
How have you found with your owners, the caretakers afterwards?
Some are ecstatic. In fact, my first one was just a joint issue, and she was so ecstatic the next day, the dog was running around the next day.
What happened? What kind of case was it?
The older dog, the back issue, and we needled, the back points, whatever, and she called the next day. The dog is running around now.
Would you recommend she to other vets?
I do, and I have. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I do. And our technicians will be down here too for the technician acupuncture lectures too sometime. I think it's very important that the whole staff, the whole clinic, gets involved also. It's a good idea.
I think with my specialty in sport horse medicine and lameness, I was looking at number one, additional methods of treatment, but also secondly, additional aids in diagnostics. We have very difficult cases at times where either traditional forms of treatment have failed or we're having trouble getting a clear diagnosis, and I felt acupuncture would be of great benefit. What I really liked about the Chi Institute is the combination of pattern recognition along with herbal therapy, so that they're taking a very holistic approach and combining all aspects of treatment and diagnostics. It was quite amazing. After the first course, I was very excited because as a surgeon, there's certain procedures that we do where hemorrhage is a tremendous concern. And when I went back after the first course that I was down here for, I had a horse that I was doing a standing sinus surgery where I was going to be removing a mass from the sinus and also puncturing a large hole so that there would be drainage down into the nasal passage. So I put the needles in place, and during the whole procedure the horse bled possibly a cup of blood, and since that point interns that have been working underneath me, if they've had situations where bleeding hasn't stopped, they've even called me in the middle of the night to treat their animals because they believe in it so.
I think the biggest thing was being able to help animals that our other toolboxes can't help, and it's really been very gratifying.
How did it feel to do your first case alone?
I would say it was definitely emotionally draining, and it's like a cat that, one of the cats that I had decided I was going to take acupuncture classes for, and on the very day that I came back to work after finishing the first session, it was on the books to euthanize that cat in the afternoon. And so I was like, I called the owner and said, no, please let me try this. We need to do something to help him, but we're beyond what we can do to help him. And he's doing great.
He's still alive?
Yeah.
How long ago was this?
That was at the very end of January.
So over half a year.
Yeah.
Teach at a veterinary school at LSU, and I think for a long time in my practice of internal medicine, I've always been interested in it, but had never had an opportunity to take the class with the scheduling that we have. And I know a lot of our veterinary students are very, very interested in it, and they've started a club, and they want it integrated into the curriculum as well as into their future as veterinarians. So for me, for service, I'm very interested in using it as a tool to treat internal medicine cases and then to assist our surgeons with the lameness cases and so many different opportunities that we deal a lot with the referral eye cases, and so specifically for those for me, and then for the curriculum for the vet school. In fact, we have a donor that contributed funding to LSU too, for the sole purpose of integrating integrative medicine into the curriculum.
Oh, so they're going to add acupuncture or the whole of TCVM?
The whole of, yeah.
Oh, very good, very good.
When I was in school, we didn't have exposure to a rotation of acupuncture, but there was a clinician there that was here doing training when I was on my fourth year rotations, and I seen her do some acupuncture on a dog with some neurologic issues, and that spiked my interest a lot in it. I already had some interest just naturally, and then that really made me want to look more into it. Plus, being out in practice now for 2 years, I just see that alternatives are definitely getting bigger for people. They're asking for other alternatives besides the Western medicine for cases that just aren't responding as well, and I just want to be able to provide that for them.
As a practitioner of 27 years, I can't count how many cases I ran out of options on the traditional side. And if I had had what I know now, how many more animals I would have been able to help for years on. Even my own animal. I had a 18 or 19-year-old dog that I know would have lived another 2 or 3 years if I had had TCVM. She just got into some issues with behavioral things, pacing and panting and things that there was no medical reason for, and I know I could have helped her. So that to me is if we can get this into the schools and get more and more people exposed to it, so even if they don't do it themselves, they know to refer because there's so many options out there.
So